Alright, welcome to this episode of my playthrough of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. We are currently in the bathhouse of a former master spy turned master criminal. I forget his name off the top of my head. Dijkstra, I think, is one of his names. Because he is our lead to finding Dandelion currently. Turns out he's one of 4 heads of the underworld of Novigrad, criminal underworld of Novigrad. And one of them is kind of gone rogue and is sending assassins to attack the other 3, and the other 3 want to take care of the one that's sending the assassins. It's a big, whole complicated thing. Have you ever seen a fractal, like a fractal pattern? How it starts with one thing, then it gets, and then it adds, and it adds, and it adds, and it adds. So something really simple becomes really complicated. Yeah, this is what's going on here. In addition to the leads he's given us about finding Whoreson Jr., which is the one member that's apparently gone rogue and is sending assassins after the other 3, he says there's something else he wants Geralt to help him with, and that he's asked us to follow us, and he opened a secret passage under the bath so that he can show us what he wants help with rather than telling us. So without any further ado, let's see what further complications this gets us into. Be very careful not to fall down.
Oh, Bart! Not again!
Bart.
Bart, stop that! Now!
Bart! Mad! Bart makes Ziggy lose, Jonathan!
Beating your head against the wall won't change that.
Bart hurt! Bart less thinky! But less thinky, but sadless.
Interesting.
Where'd you get the troll?
From Zerrikania. Won him. Card game with a camel merchant.
Your jokes are getting better by the minute.
See me smiling? I'm dead serious.
But I bumpy horses. What's there? Siggy Bart take. Good Siggy.
Don't seem to have trouble communicating with the troll. Why'd you bring me down here?
Take note of that hole. We'll come back to it later. And see that door? Vault behind it, until recently filled with Novigrad crowns and countless other valuables.
But God! Then boom! Chorfun go!
Translating into common, someone fucking made off with nearly 20 tons of my gold and all the lighter stuff. And you will help me get it back.
Why don't you handle this? Gotta have connections in the underworld. What do you need a Witcher for?
The gold wasn't mine alone. See, I run a members-only savings club, a bank for the initiated. For reasons that should be obvious, I prefer it if my temporary liquidity problems remained private. So I need an outsider.
How do you know you can trust me?
I don't. Counting on your survival instinct. Slip up, and I'll kill you. Feed you to Bart.
But sorry. But job that good.
Fine. I'll help you.
You're not exactly bursting with enthusiasm.
Witcher mutations. They strip us of emotion. I'd be jumping for joy otherwise. All right. Want to look around. But first, some questions.
I'm all ears.
Anyone see what happened?
Other than Bart? No. And the vault's location is known only to the treasure's co-owners. Well, and the thieves.
What about upstairs? Anything unusual happen in the bathhouse the day of the break-in?
No. Happen swears it was calm as ever. The usual customers, no incidents. Bloody bucolic.
How much was it all worth? Got an approximate idea?
Why the fuck do you care? Figuring your finder's fee. Don't get your hopes up.
Know you too well for that. Just prefer to know what I'm looking for.
3 crates of Nilfgaardian florins, a chest of emeralds, rubies and topazes, silver candlesticks and platters. I could go on.
Shiny, careful. Oh, God.
Take it the thieves got in through the hole behind you.
You're a regular fucking master sleuth. Any other brilliant deductions you want confirmed? The year, maybe? Bloody name of Redania's king?
No, but I am wondering, for instance, how that hole got there.
Hole no. Boom. Hole. Bad look won't go. Bad look no. Only sleep. Bad shrooms. Head falls.
Boom. Can you elaborate?
Boom! Big. This like.
I'll elaborate. Explosion. Big enough to blow that fucking hole in the wall, separating the vault from the sewers.
Gotten pretty good at communicating with this troll.
Lots of prior experience. Worked with idiots my whole life.
Bad mushrooms? What's that about?
Pops mold. The spores are highly toxic. One whiff and you're dead. Unless you're a troll, that is.
Yes. But. Troll.
Not talking to you, dimwit. Where was I? Ah, mold spores. They cover the walls of the sewers other side of the vault. Actually thought it was a good thing, you know? A bit of extra protection. Thieves found a way through it.
Bart, you see them?
But through hole. Want see boom. Got what? Breathe. Shroom. Sleep go. Your phone gone. Bad troll.
Now. Stiff upper lip.
Try to track down the thief yourself?
Of course. Hired this lummox, Fons, thick enough not to ask questions. We knocked back some pops antidote and entered the sewers. Soon after, I returned alone.
What happened?
Lad started belching something horrendous. I mean, burps with so much mass the walls shook. Told him, Fons, stop. You're in the presence of a count. Well, former count, but still. And then he puked up. Up came most of the antidote. Lost his protection. Tried to pull him out. Then I heard a bubbling. Something crawled out of the water. I value the lives of my men, I do. But I value my own even more. Dropped Fons and ran like hell.
Mind describing this something that crawled out of the water?
No. Doesn't mean I can, though. Air in the sewer's thick with spores. Can hardly see a thing down there.
Must have noticed something. Was it...
No! Didn't notice a fucking thing. Didn't do a taxonomic field analysis either. I know it's an inconvenience to you, but I felt I should get the hell out of there as fast as I could.
Should look around the sewers. Got any more of that Pop's antidote?
Have a few vials left. Got the formula too. Disgusting swill, to be honest. But it'll save your life. Here.
Thanks.
You've naught to thank me for, literally. You're no good to me if you suffocate. Listen, I'll be upstairs if you need me. Sight of this empty vault's giving me an ulcer. Good luck to you.
Dandelion, what the hell have you gotten yourself into?
Well, that's an unfortunate time for the battery to run out. No, I guess a good time. Let's take a look at the quests. So, main quest is Count Reuven's treasure. And then for Get Junior, it's to get the follow the assassination attempts. Both level 12. I'm going to change the battery. I'll see you on the other side. Or, not the battery. I'm going to change the controller. I'll see you on the other side. Well, let's take a look here at the description of these quests. So, Count Reuven's treasure. It turns out Siggy Reuven was none other than Sigismund Dijkstra, former head of the Redanian intelligence and a man well known to Geralt from past adventures. In an atypical bout of ignorance, Dijkstra had no inkling I was involved in the theft of his gold. He treated Geralt's appearance as a fortunate coincidence and offered him a handsome sum in return for help finding his stolen wealth, and the thief who had stolen it. Geralt and Dijkstra thus both wanted to find the exact same person, yours truly, albeit for entirely different reasons. Seizing this bit of good fortune, Geralt accepted the offer and hoped against hope Dijkstra wouldn't catch on to his double dealing. Fear gripped the Witcher's heart as he knocked on the bathhouse doors. He knew that, shortly before I disappeared without a trace, I had been planning to rob Siggy Reuven, one of the most powerful and dangerous men in the north. He would have to inquire about my fate without arousing any suspicions, which was a tall order indeed, for while Geralt may be an excellent Witcher, he is one lousy actor. Haha. So, it's just for reference, if you haven't watched the previous episodes, the Bard Dandelion is the chronicler of these journals, and so these entries are written by him, so hence why he says, knowing that he had no idea that I had stolen it, yada yada yada. Get Junior. Thanks to the lovely Priscilla, Geralt now knew Ciri and I had struck a deal with Whoreson Jr., one of the big four bosses of the Novigrad underworld. It seemed a simple matter of finding Whoreson, having a chat, and getting out of him where to look for me, but in the Novigrad of the time, nothing was simple and nothing was as it seemed. Both of these are main quests. I really don't know which one I should do first, but I'm in the sewers anyway, might as well do the Count Reuven's treasure. Now, that then raises the question of, do I have to do anything about the antidote? Where is it? There it is. I think it's automatically equipped, actually. Pops mold antidote. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. Grants temporary immunity to Pops mold, 27 out of 100 toxicity, 360-second effect duration. So it's actually quite lengthy.
Edges curled out. Something inside blew it wide open. Wall too. Bathhouse drain pipes seem to converge here.
Interesting. I'm not going to loot anything while Bart is standing right there. That seems silly.
Pipe's great. Explosion crumpled it like a piece of paper. And there's mortar on the bars. So it was in place at the time of the explosion. Blast tore it from the wall. No traces of magic. This was no spell. It was a bomb. Now, why am I not finding pieces of it? Could be the current swept them away.
So, of course, that door is locked. So we gotta follow the current, which points us in this direction. And I see the fumey stuff here. Alright, so let's drink some of this antidote and follow the current.
I thought Witcher's potions were vile. Drown it. Of course.
Don't want to spend too much time looting stuff here because, well, limited immunity to this stuff.
Thug Dijkstra hired.
Is that all that is? Okay. And there's a little red glowy thing here.
Definitely came through here.
It's a golden ring. Interesting.
Getting close.
Use your Witcher senses to search the sewer room for evidence. I don't know what I just looted, but I looted something.
Bottom of a container. Silver cylinder, most likely. Runes etched in the bottom. It's warped, probably by the explosion. Bomb part. Must be. Smells like wyvern oil and caramel. That'd be it down here. Time to see Dijkstra.
Huh. Wyvern oil and caramel. It's a heck of a combination. Definitely did not see that hole in the stairs. And I wonder where I ended up here. It's a locked door, so there's not much I can do as far as, like, getting around here. But this is like almost like where like a leader would address the people assembled down below or something like that. Alright, let's make our way back. Given that I've already cleared it out of enemies, I don't think this will be a problem. Oh, there's something there. Oh yeah, there's a red glowing thing here.
Another trinket. Fine grating. Couldn't push much through that. Bits of pipe clear over here. Must have been one powerful blast.
And the bathhouse is no longer populated. Wonder why that could be. Doesn't look like I can talk to Happen right now.
Got a minute?
I do. What do you want?
Done. Examined every nook of the sewers near your vault.
Well, learn anything?
Seems to me a bomb blew the wall open. Look.
Bottom of a silver cylinder, probably. Covered in runes. Interesting. Any idea what it contained?
Recognized some ingredients by their scent. Wyvern oil and sugar.
Sugar? Geralt, I'm in no mood for jests.
Nor am I. Just saying what I found. Bomb contained sugar.
Let's think. Sugar would react violently with sulfuric acid, but not so violently to cause an explosion.
Didn't know you were versed in alchemy.
Dabbled in it a bit while at Oxenford Academy. But this is no time to reminisce. You're to find my treasure, not write my biography. Know anything else about this bomb? Anything at all?
Drain pipes are only promising lead. We just need to know which pool it's connected to.
Yes. Happen keeps a record of guests. Should be able to tell us who used that pool the day of the break-in. You've not done badly.
Feel honored to be acknowledged.
Oh, that famous sarcasm. I missed it.
Really?
About as much as I'd miss a knife in my knickers. All right. You inspect the pools on the right, I'll take the ones on the left. Holler if you find anything.
Look for clues about the thieves in the bathhouse side rooms using your Witcher senses.
Nothing here.
Well, definitely has something.
Something floating on the surface. Oil, looks like.
Well,
Silver lid. Matches the cylinder bottom I found in the sewer. Dijkstra, come here.
Got something?
Yeah, bomb part.
Happen. Drain pull 4 and bring me the guest book. Chop chop.
By the way, what about Happen? Could have overheard you mention the vault. Has access to the bathhouse whenever he wants.
Happen has numerous flaws. He's pompous, pretentious, can be a real prick sometimes, ironic as that may sound. But his loyalty's beyond question.
How can you be so sure?
Witches know their monsters, spies know their men.
You trusted Philippa Eilhart once too.
True. But I didn't pull Philippa Eilhart out of a Kaviri prison the night before her execution.
Let's see what's on the bottom. Grate's been removed from the drain, meaning they flushed the bomb down here.
Happen. Who used this pool the day of the break-in?
Let me see. Bertold Heinz, town councilman, Josef Schweik, brewer, and Margrave Henkel.
Henkel? That's impossible.
Margrave Henkel, who's that?
Who was that, you mean? Old Coot's been eating dirt since last winter. Couldn't have been here the day of the break-in.
He's dead? I'd not heard.
Not surprising. The Honourable Margrave croaked in a brothel, decked out in leather lingerie, so the family held a hush-hush funeral. But I have my sources.
Yeah, I saw him that fateful day, Mr. Reuven. I'm certain of it.
Did you speak to him? Get a good look at him?
No. He merely passed by on the way in.
So you didn't see Henkel, you saw an impersonator. Think for once. They scooped out your balls, not your brain. And you, Geralt, start looking into this.
Fine. Where should I start?
Henkel's home. Derelict townhouse south of the main square. You might happen on some trace of this scoundrel we're looking for there. Well, off with you.
so current objective is to go to Margrave Henkel's house.
Gonna be sick.
I'm knackered.
I'm going to take a moment and visit these merchants.
Your reputation precedes you, Geralt.
It can't be. White hair, yellow eyes, slashed face. Just like he said. Geralt of Rivia, known as the White Wolf, the Butcher of Blaviken.
Geralt of Rivia's enough. What is it?
A man came to me a few years past, paid me to keep a book for you. Said you'd come for it one day.
Who was he?
He didn't introduce himself. But the book has a red cover, that I remember. I'm sure I've not sold it.
All right, see if I can find it.
And perhaps glance at the others while you're at it.
Oh, let's see if I can sell anything to him. He's a bookkeeper, so...
Be glad to look over what you got.
Doesn't look like he's gonna buy anything from me, okay. Message from an old friend. Find a book with a red cover using your Witcher senses. Like this one?
The Merry Adventures of Muriel the Lovely Harlot, adorned with humorous engravings.
On one occasion, Muriel went on a journey to see her auntie in Maribor, accompanied by her nursemaid. Their path took them through a forest, and in this forest lived a raucous troop of bandits. This infamous group was led by Flynn Selms, and all the king's men had been unable to bring them to justice. Alas, such was Muriel's great misfortune that these bandits chose to attack her carriage. Muriel's nursemaid was old, blind, and deaf. She did not wake when a tree fell in front of her carriage with a loud thud, nor when the bandits fought a fierce battle against their guardsmen. When Flynn ripped open the carriage door with his muscular arms and stepped inside, Muriel had to deal with the danger herself. "Make our guest comfortable, young lady," the old nursemaid muttered in her sleep. Muriel obediently carried out her instructions. Blah, 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 blah. Is it perhaps upstairs? There's 3 more books. Well, this was not what I was expecting when I walked in the door.
The treatment of furuncles through cauterization, a study.
Everyone's seen a boil, usually more than they'd care to. These deformities don't just mar your beauty, they can be signs of disease, or even the disease's cause and epicenter. If your lungs wheeze and your heart flutters, or if you're just sick of pustules, you can carve them off and be free of this ill for good. When you go to carve off a boil, use a sharp knife which you've had a dog lick thoroughly beforehand, for the dog's tongue works wonders in healing wounds. You've got to be brave as you go about it, slicing as confidently and steadily as if carving off a hunk of cheese. Then quickly cauterize the resultant wound using a red-hot poker. Don't pay any mind to screams or tears. Pus, bile, and any other humors need to be gathered in a basin, then dumped in a pit and the pit covered, else the illness might return.
My manifesto. Must be it. There's a letter inside.
My manifesto, the life of Jacques de Aldersberg. The reasons for choosing Jacques de Aldersberg as Grand Master remain a mystery. The Order of the White Rose had gone through a crisis of those times and was on the verge of collapse, so one might guess that the Brethren wished to have someone decisive as their leaders. Someone with a clear vision. De Aldersberg was precisely such a man. One of his first decisions was to change the Brotherhood's name to the Order of the Flaming Rose. The most puzzling aspect, however, is that the Order and the King himself decided to trust a man who, for all intents and purposes, had appeared out of nowhere. They say he was a wanderer, an iterant priest who moved crowds with his speeches and declaiming non-humans. They say he worked miracles and showed his flock visions of a world destroyed by the White Frost. He was undoubtedly a man of great charisma, one instilled with unshakable principles, which he in turn tried to instill in others. Was he truly a source? Was he indeed gifted with raw magic talent? That we will never know for certain. Witcher. In the ocean of possibilities, some events are more likely and some less. It is not easy to fish out the first, not even when one's intellect stretches through all time and space. I left this letter for you in the hope that, despite all odds, you will come across it one day, for I must warn you, mankind is threatened. The prophesied destruction by the White Frost is not just the babbling of some mad she-elf. Perhaps I will have the opportunity to convince you of this in person. If not, I must rely on this letter, which you will read many years from now, at a time when you know more than you did when we first met. Know that nothing will save the world except preparing its entire population for this catastrophe. The old tales say that a child of the elder blood can stave off the danger, but I tried and failed. Ever since, I have been haunted by a hideous vision, a crowned wraith, the spectre of my failure. I was the chosen one, and the chosen one failed. You and your brotherhood are our only hope. When the time of the wolf's blizzard come, men shall perish and only the Ubermen will survive. Your duty is to give the world Ubermen. Whatever you think of me, do not fail as I have failed. A. Yeah, we know that the Wild Hunt is coming. Whoever A is.
here, you know, with the eternal fire burning and all that.
Alright. Well, I'm going to call an end to the episode here. You know the drill. Click over there. Join me next time as we continue to follow our leads into Dandelion's whereabouts. See you then.